Welcome back to the Highline Podcast. Hit that button.
Yeah!
Let's go!
You can't do that.
I can't get it right.
Shut the f*** up and let me talk.
I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
You're only young,
But you're gonna die! Proceed to party!
Ooh, are you ready, Riley?
What did he say?
Go Tigers.
That's incorrect.
Go Cox. I think that might be the best one we've ever done. That was good. I like that. Yeah, here we go for the 100th time. Hanging a pins in every line. Throw 'em up and let something shine. Going out of my fucking mind. Filthy mouth, no excuse. Find a new place to hang this noose. String me up from atop these roofs. Knot it tight so I won't get loose. Truth is, you can't stop and stare. Bleed myself out and no one cares. Dug the trench out and laid it there with the shovel out of reach somewhere. Yeah, someone pour it in. Make it a dirt dance floor again. Say your prayers and stop it out when they bring that chorus in. I bleed it out, digging deeper just to throw it away. I bleed it out, digging deeper just to throw it away. I bleed it out, digging deeper just to throw it away. Just to throw it away, just to throw it away, I bleed it out! Go, stop the show, choppy words in a sloppy flow. Shotgun opera, lock it low, cock it back and then watch it go. Mama help me, I've been cursed. Death is rolling in every verse. Candy paint on this brand new hearse. Can't complain cause I know he works. Fuck, this hurts, I will lie. Doesn't matter how hard I try. Half these words don't mean a thing and I know that I won't be satisfied. Yeah. Why? Because William Byron fucking won again!
Yeah, he did. Like every time you talk shit about William Byron, he's out there and wins the race. They need to stop doing that.
I will remind everyone of my rant last week. Just superimpose that on top of what I'm feeling right now. Fuck William Byron. Fuck him. Fuck him.
And
fuck him.
In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Oh, brother. Well, I had a worse weekend than you. Both my guys didn't make it. Because William fucking Byron took it. He didn't take. I mean, he earned it. He deserved it. Don't get me wrong. But, man, I thought Blaney was going to do it. And then Byron was just better. I just don't know how to say it. He was a better killer bee on Sunday. That was a man. Chase was good, not good enough. Blaney was good, not good enough. That 24 car was just on the rails, man. And God, it's the first time since 2019. None of my guys are in the championship 4. Don't know how to feel about it.
Now you know how I feel. I never had a motherfucker in the championship 4.
I mean, from 14 when they started, it didn't have it. 16, 17, and 18, and 19.
Why didn't you have one in 14?
Brackets. That's why. That fucking guy.
Hey.
Anyways, Riley, how you doing?
Awful. How are you doing?
I'm terrible.
Ready for this fucking NASCAR season to be over.
Roll damn Tide. I thought y'all should have won. I said y'all were going to beat them, and y'all should have won if y'all didn't choke it away.
I don't know if we necessarily choked it away. I think it was taken away, but we got beat by a better team. It happens. But when you're winning by 8 with 4 minutes to go, you should probably win the game. But
I would say so.
You know, I can't have everything, I don't guess. My Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl this year. My Avalanche are going to win the Stanley Cup, and my Nuggets are going to win the NBA championship. So I guess a couple of my...
I don't think that's going to happen.
I guess a couple of my teams can be bad. But, yeah, it was unfortunate Saturday, but and definitely unfortunate on Sunday.
Yeah, Clemson didn't play, so I have to worry about them this week. Watch my Panthers get fucking thrashed by the Bills. That was not fun. Reminded me of the bad days of what it's been like for a Panther fan the past 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Andy Dalton was our starter. Bryce Young was hurt. And Andy Dalton was fucking awful. I mean, just pathetic. I could have went out there and played better than him. He was just terrible. The red rifle has turned into the red water BB gun or he's turned into a damn water pistol. He just is awful. Needs to retire, go into fucking broadcasting or something. Try to run at fucking, was he 38, 39 years old against fucking the Buffalo Bills defense, and you fumble it, and then you throw it off, just a Riley Embree-esque interception to the Bills defensive end. I mean, what the fuck was that? It's just awful, and we got thrashed. I stopped watching it by third quarter. I mean, it was terrible. So, and plus the race is kind of going on too. So I kind of like, we're getting destroyed here. And our run defense was great for most of the year. And James Cook, I think, just ran on another touchdown on us. So, yeah, just a bad Sunday for me. And then, of course, with Chase and Blaney. Second and third, bronze and silver. That's pretty damn good. Not in this scenario. It didn't mean shit. They had 2 bad races to lead them up to this. Or else second or third probably would have got them in the next round. But unfortunately, that's not how this playoff system works. And, if you dig yourself in a hole, you got to win. And they just weren't quite good enough. So, yeah, it's just rough weekend. But I've learned 2025 was just not my year for anything sports-wise. So, NASCAR was the only thing I had to hold on to hope about, and now it's gone. So, we'll try again in 2026, I guess. But, yeah, just frustrating. I get down to go to Georgia tomorrow night and go hunting on my long week. So that's a good time to decompress and not think about sports. I'll like I said, I'll watch championship race on Sunday and watch Clemson on Saturday and all that stuff. But that's in the back. That's secondary compared to my actual task at hand. That's killing a big buck. So hopefully I can do that this weekend to relieve the pain of all this shitty sports that I've had to deal with this whole year. Really had some bright moments, but for the most part, it's been a rough year for me, and would like to forget about a lot of it.
Forget about it. Yeah. Like I said, probably 10 weeks ago, I'm ready for this fucking NASCAR season to be over. Glad Phoenix is here. Hate that it's Phoenix, but glad that it's here to get this shitty season over with. Just a tough year for all the Roush guys. Probably should have had 2 guys in the playoffs. Didn't have any. Probably could have had all 3 in there. Brad could have won a couple races throughout the regular season as well, even though he wasn't close on points. But yeah, ready for it to be over. Gamecocks suck, so ready for college football season to be over. Thank God it's hockey season. And my Broncos are good. But, yeah, we'll see how it goes this weekend. But we're rooting for Denny. We're rooting for Denny. At least I am.
I'm about to say, why don't you put my name in your mouth? Keep my name out your motherfucking mouth. I'm rooting for the pace car. What I'm really hoping for is all of them wrecking to turn 1, lap 1.
That'd be great.
I would laugh my ass off. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this Martinsville shit. William Byron won.
Boo.
Started on pole, led over 300 laps, had clearly the best car. Reminded me of Denny in the spring. Just you find the right setup. I think I said this last week. Find the right setup. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But if you find a good setup for Martinsville, start high up, and you're going to be a problem all day to pass. And as long as you don't lose the lead, which William did throughout the pit strategy and cycles and stuff like that. And he still was able to come back up through the field and win the race. Pass Ryan Blaney with about 40 to go, throwing it 3 wide. With Blaney trying to pass, I think Casey Mears or somebody like that. And ran him up the track. Wasn't really nothing dirty. Had a run, took it. It's hard to pass all day. I don't blame William for doing it. It wasn't a dirty move or nothing like that. I was not happy, obviously, but it was just Martin. It was a
track race?
It was short track racing, in all accounts. So, not mad at William for the move or anything like that. And Ryan Blaney wasn't either after the race. Like I would have done the same thing. And we know Blaney is not a menace, but he is. He don't have a lot of patience at Martinsville. He don't
have a lot of patience anywhere.
That could be said for me and you too, brother.
I've got an overabundance of patience.
Is this, are you an alien?
Yes.
Are you an extraterrestrial?
Yes.
I'm about to call Ghostbusters.
That's not what they do.
I'm going to call Fox Mulder.
Ice.
No, Fox Mulder.
Ice.
X-Files.
Ice.
Do-do-do-do.
Because I'm an alien.
Do-do-do. Huh?
Ice. Because I'm
Not
an
that alien. I'm talking about a real alien. E.T.
Phone home.
Phone home. I wish I could phone home.
Yeah.
Take me to the stairway of heaven. That's not how it goes.
No, not at all. But yeah, Martinsville. There was a race there.
I already talked about it.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard to pass. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. If you had a really good car, you can move your way up through the field, but it's just a lot more stagnant. The tires, the left side tire didn't really do anything special from what I saw. Tires didn't wear a whole lot till 70, 80 laps into a run. It wore more than the early days of this car at this track, but it wasn't as good, in my opinion, as last year's. Or like the fall Bristol race this year, the
I think it was too cold.
Spring Bristol race, 2024. So that was disappointing to see. I was hoping for a real old school type Martinsville where you had a lot of comers and goers, and you did, but not to the extent of what I was hoping for. And maybe it's just because of the car, and it's a spec car, and you got what you got. You can't have a too big of a. You can't have a really good short run car and a bad long run car, vice versa with this car. Maybe that's what it is. The only people we've seen have that type of ability are, I think, driver ability with Denny on long runs, with
mostly
Blaney,
the older drivers.
Yeah, with Blaney, with Chase at sometimes. Then you got some short run guys that are fast, like usually Logano and Carson Hocevar and Larson sometimes, where they're really going short run. Reddick. Then they kind of fall off throughout the end of the run because they burn their tire. Bubba Wallace is another good example with that too. So, yeah, I left this race disappointed. Obviously not just because of the result, but just kind of how the racing went on Sunday. So I'd give it a 5.5 out of 10. It was a little bit above average. I might be underselling it a little bit, but overall I didn't think it was nothing special, and it let me down.
Yeah, I agree. 5.5's pretty good number there. Like you said, though, could definitely just be the result. It was kind of frustrating. Whenever you have a dominant car like that, especially at Martinsville, it kind of stinks up the show because you know when that guy's in the lead that you can't touch him. And when Byron took the lead back from Blaney, we thought there for a minute he'd be able to get back to him, but once he started kind of driving away, it's kind of obvious that he'd have no shot. Then that caution came out late, and we thought maybe he'd have an opportunity, and William just drove away from him and kind of put a damper on the last 10 laps there. So that was kind of frustrating. Frustrating for me as well was Priest had a really good car at the end, was running third and catching the leaders. I think he had the best car in that last long run. Was coming up quick through the field, passing guys left and right, running the leaders down, and as soon as he pit, fucking caution came out. So trapped him a lap down, had to take the wave around, and was back in the field, and then never could recover from there like the other guys did. And then did I already say Busher ran 30th all day? Was
I don't know why.
a couple laps down at one point. I mean, just I think he finished 3 laps down. I mean, it's just awful. Brad was average at best. He got lapped a couple times.
He had a good long run car. He was really bad at the short run, and he'd come back at the long run.
Just a bad day for the Roush guys. Obviously, I didn't want William to win. I was rooting for Blaney at the end there, which sucks that Byron got in. All you guys know how I feel about him, so there's that. Makes it real easy. Obviously, pretty much no matter who won this weekend, I was going to be rooting for Denny next week anyway, but it makes it real easy that it's either Denny or Briscoe for me, which is very surprising because I'm rooting for 2 Toyotas. But, those are the 2 guys I'd like to see win it. I think those are the 2 that deserve it the most, at least based on playoff performance. and season-long performance, they've been two of the better ones as well. I will say this about the Championship 4, which we'll get into this a little bit later.
William Byron won the regular season championship.
And that's what I was going to say. I will say that I think this is probably that I can remember, this is probably the best Championship 4 as far as guys deserving to be there, based on season-long performance that I can remember. Seems like every year there's one guy that, kind of gets hot at the right time and gets in there. But this year we didn't have that. So, and I also think that this will make the race better next week as well, because those guys run around each other no matter what. And when you get to Phoenix, that usually happens anyway. But excited for Phoenix, surprisingly enough, this weekend to see how that goes. But Martinsville, very disappointing. Like you said, the racing was okay. Just for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just as I get older, we look back at those old Martinsville races and we think they were better than they were, or if the racing nowadays just isn't the same. But part of me thinks like, this is just what Martinsville is. But then, part of me thinks that it could be better, which I think it can. But, with this car, I don't know if we're going to get much better than what we saw on Sunday. So, disappointed.
Could say that again. We'll get into it a little bit more in RTT, but obviously, Logano, Chase, Blaney, and who else missed it? Logano, Chase, Blaney, and the fuck? Bell.
Yeah.
Also, I was very happy. The silver lining for me is Bell and Logano missing it. Obviously, I definitely did not want Joey Logano getting in there again. Although this is probably his best year in this car, maybe other than 2022, the first year of this car. Overall wise, he had more speed this year than 2023, 2024. And 2022 was very close, comparable to this year. So, glad to see him not in it. And then Bell, obviously, I don't like Christopher Bell at all. He's near the top of my hit list, so glad to see him miss it as well. Silver lining there, Jed Cord was my guy growing up. He's got two of his guys in the Championship 4, so I'll be cheering for. I haven't decided who I'm cheering for yet. We'll get into that a little bit later, but
Denny.
Denny would be the best storyline. I will give you that, but for all four guys that missed it, Bell got off to a great start this year, winning 3 straight races. And he had a couple close moments, close calls of him almost winning a race here and there throughout the rest of the season, but had a real bad summer. And playoffs, he was good, just not great. I forgot he did win Bristol. Brad should have won that race. But, he just they didn't quite execute the way they should have at the end of the year. And it's kind of surprising. I had them in my Championship 4 to start the season. I thought them missing out at Martinsville, missing the championship last year after the Martinsville thing last year, I thought they had, and they did get fired up to start the season. They just couldn't maintain it. And then with Chase, good, just not good enough. It's been the motto with Chase here since his leg injury a couple years ago.
My leg.
Won a couple races this year. Won Atlanta.
Shouldn't have.
And,
Brad should have won that race.
and won Kansas.
Brad should have won that race.
Kansas. So he had some exciting wins, and he had a couple races where I thought he should have won, but didn't quite get it done. But just not quite good enough. He was probably on average the best playoff car at Hendrick up until these last couple of weeks, which sucks. Round of 8 seems like it gets chased almost every year now when he makes it. And then Blaney's the one that just I think he deserves to be in the Championship 4. He's had top 4 speed all year. I think the only guy that's been close to him on speed week in, week out has been the 11. And just a bad luck at Las Vegas, and then just not getting it done at Talladega the way they needed to last week. Put him in this position where he had to win. And he almost did, but obviously I think Blaney is the one that it's going to hurt the most just because I think he had, and of course going to Phoenix, he was going to be a problem this weekend if he'd made the championship 4. So overall good year though for Blaney, 3 wins. Could have had a whole bunch more. Had a whole bunch of mechanical problems at the beginning of the season, which didn't help him as well because he could have won a couple more races to have more playoff points going into this round of 8 and throughout the whole playoff, stuff like that. It just didn't work out for him. What it be for the 12, then the 22 at Logano, like I said, just average all year. Won a race at Texas where he probably didn't deserve to win the race. He did, though. He did put himself in position to win the race. And then after that, had some good runs, but, kind of got bailed out by Ross's choke job at the Roval to get him in this championship or get into this round of 8. And then he just didn't quite have the speed like the rest of those guys did. Had a really good car at Martinsville.
We have
surprisingly enough.
A whole segment about what you're talking about right now.
I'm just kind of going all overview of who missed it. Just Logano just didn't quite have it this year, which is normal for him. He just didn't get lucky this year with the right type of luck. Had some luck, but didn't have enough luck to get the championship for Phoenix. So, just real quick overview of all 4 guys that missed it.
Okay. You know who's not going to be racing in Phoenix this weekend?
Wait a minute. I'm asking you. I'm telling you, your overview of the 4 that missed
I was going to get into it RTT, but yeah.
Well, it's not the biggest snub yet. I'm just overview of their 4 seasons.
Yeah, Logano, you said, kind of was lucky to be here. So, like you said, average year, lucky to be here. Not really surprised he didn't make it. He was in a must-win and was never that good at Martinsville.
He was better than I thought he'd be.
Yeah, but he wasn't race winning. Obviously didn't have the speed to get it done.
Fell off in the second half of the race.
Yeah. Bell started hot, won a couple races early, won Bristol, shouldn't have. Was okay in the playoffs. His downfall is going to be just the consistency. He was either really fast or not for a lot of the year, so some stuff to work on there for him. Then you have the 12, which, like you said, I think he was, barring incident, he was the best car all year. I think he's the one that, if I had to pick one out that I would want in out of the 4, it would be him, and I know you'd be the same way. So kind of disappointed that he's not in there. Good for the other guys because Penske's a problem at the championship race. And then who am I missing? Chase. Not really surprised that he didn't make it. He has been the most consistent driver all year. I don't know if he finished with the best average finishing position.
Probably.
But he was the best, had the highest average finishing position all year. And, like you said, had a couple wins, but really struggled for race-winning speed most of the year. And, I wouldn't consider him a huge threat at Phoenix this week if he was in there. So not really mad that he's not in it. Wouldn't really give him an opportunity. He'd probably be the 4th.
He was probably the best non-playoff guy at Phoenix last year.
Yeah.
Him and Bell were very good last year at Phoenix. Remember Chase, that was the pace car incident where the pace car spun out. Mm-hmm. Chase was leading the race.
Yeah.
He's good at Phoenix, but I don't know if he could contend with the rest of them.
I don't think so. Well, is a deep subject, but somebody ain't racing this weekend at Phoenix.
Nope.
Not only is he not racing for a championship, he ain't racing at all.
Jimmy Hill.
Well, he probably won't be there, but he might be there in an ARCA car. But
Rick Crawford.
Yep, also not going to be there.
He's still in a jail cell, ain't he?
He's in jail.
I think so. And he's the one that got caught for beating the shit out of his wife.
No, that was
he was one, and then not Travis Quaffle. There's another guy.
The dude that drove the
Rick Crawford did go to jail.
The dude that drove the Zaxby's truck.
John West Townley?
Yeah.
He's dead.
Oh, he died.
Deceased. God almighty.
Rip.
Nah,
we're talking
Zaxby's
about...
does sound good.
I might eat that tomorrow. Samuel Mayer will not be in his car this weekend.
Thank God. It's the only problem with us doing the podcast later in the week. we could have speculated on what was going to happen if we'd have done this podcast Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they already came out with what was going to do to it.
Which is we were both going to say he was going to get suspended, I think.
I said he should. I was going to say he wasn't going to, though. So I'm glad NASCAR did. Him and Jeb Burton, kind of a short track deal, I thought, for most of it. You know, Sam ran Jeb way up the track on a restart earlier on in the race. Jeb on older tires. Sam had a pretty good car, and then just drove right in the back of him and moved him way up the track. Lost him like 10, 12 positions earlier in the race, and then Jeb kind of gave it back to him later. And
clean bump and run. Didn't wreck him.
And Sam, after the checkered flag, he goes in there and just Matt Kenseth Jeb. That's pretty much exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Exactly the same incident. Wrecked both cars. And then Sam, in his interview, goes out there and says, you know, Jeb, he's just fast enough to be in the way. And people say, you know, they got the it factor. He's got the shit factor.
He said he's got a different factor.
He's got a different factor.
But he meant shit factor.
Yeah, I mean, I think he might have said to reporters, not to the big CW. I think he did say shit factor to the smaller
Which,
reporters.
to be fair, that's funny as hell.
That is funny. That was a great line.
It was a great
Sam.
interview.
I wonder if he predetermined him. He's figured how the hell
He's got a list of shit to say in his car.
Right there. All right, here we go. We got Jeb
This is
Burton.
my hit list.
Yeah, so that was a great line, but overall, it's a dumb move by Sam. People, he's been one of the bigger lower series guys that have been, chirping about not getting his big break, getting a Cup Series ride, and this is the shit. This is why. He's still not grown up enough. He still doesn't understand the big picture on things. Never really takes accountability for anything that he ever does, kind of like Austin Hill. And, those two guys, I look at them as the same way. Got talent. They're talented enough drivers to be in the Cup Series one day, but their mentalities are not where they need to be. They're still driving like 15-year-old kids on iRacing that gets mad for cutting somebody off.
Drive like you, yeah.
I don't wreck them. I just scream over
This
the
guy
radio.
cuts me off, I'm going to wreck him.
But I never do I?
Because you're not fast enough, because they're not cutting you off.
No, I go in there, I pass them cleanly, or run them up the
Yeah,
track a little bit. But just unacceptable by Sam. You want to get, cool down lap, show your displeasure, throw a bird at them, run in the back of them a little bit. That's fine. Okay, you can talk about it. Go in there and just straight up wreck them is just unacceptable. Clown move. That was just a stupid move by Sam, and I'm glad he's getting suspended this weekend. Gets 1 week off to start his off season. Go down there to Cabo or wherever he wants to go to. He ain't gonna worry about driving that 41 car at Phoenix this weekend.
Yep.
So, just a ridiculous move by Sam. That's why I don't like him. He drives like a dumbass. Never takes accountability for his actions. And what happened on track was nothing dirty by Jeb. I thought, and Sam opened the door for that. Whether you got a fucking playoff banner on your fucking car or not, you drive through somebody.
Yeah. And that's
you're gonna get repercussions of it. It's not like, oh, I'm in the playoffs, you can't touch me. That ain't how this works, brother.
And that's how that's what I was going to bring up. I think that was the stupidest thing that he said in his interview. Is, well, I've got a purple spoiler. He shouldn't race me that way. Well, no, you're out there. He's got a job to do. You moved him. He owes you one. And that's just the way racing works. That's the way it's always been. Do I blame Sam for running him a little wide early in the race? No. I mean, you got a job to do. The guy's in your way. Get him out the way and go.
What
Sam
did earlier
was more
not
dirty.
as much as bad. It was not as bad as what Jeb did. Or rather,
Sam's was worse.
Sam was worse than what Jeb did.
Yeah. So
Already.
but still, it was not
punted
dirty.
him.
It wasn't dirty. It was just probably not necessary.
Yeah, very aggressive.
And Jeb's, well, I owe you one, and I'm faster than you, so get the fuck out of the way. And that one was more clean and more understandable. But like I said, I don't think Sam's was that bad. But I understand Sam's frustration. I get it. But I'm pretty sure I said the same thing when Chris Buescher got mad at the 45 a couple years ago or last year at Darlington. when he got out of the car, ran up to him. I don't have one of those win stickers. Well, that doesn't matter. That guy doesn't care whether or not you've got a win, just like Jeb doesn't care whether or not you got a purple spoiler. And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you're racing for. If I owe you one, I owe you one, and you're going to get one back. And Jeb had every right to move him out of the way, and he did. And I understand Sam's frustration. He feels like he was raced, unfairly by a guy that had nothing to race for. I get it. I get the frustration. But you have to be able to think through, because that was like early stage 3 when Jeb got him back. So he had quite a while to either stew on that or to get over it. And, I don't know what the communication was over the radio, but you would think, crew chiefs or spotters would be able to talk him off a ledge a little bit better than that. And I don't know if they tried to and he just wasn't having it, similar to what, Kyle Busch, their crew chiefs, the Busch brothers, they used to get into it with him all the time. Hey, I'm going to fucking wreck this guy. This is bullshit. And they try to talk him down. Like when Kyle wrecked Ron Hornaday, the crew chief or the spotter was screaming at him not to do it and did it anyway. So sometimes you can't stop the driver. The driver's just going to do
that was like instant.
Yeah.
That wasn't 60, 70 laps later.
But maybe Sam never told him that he was going to get him back. But and obviously nobody would have thought that he was going to do it after the race.
Well, I know he said over the radio that he was mad at 27.
Which is fair. You have, and if you get back to him and you want to move him again during the race, fine. But you can't wait until after the race and destroy a race car for literally no reason. Especially Jordan Anderson Racing, which is not a well-funded team. I mean, they do okay, but they're not Penske. They're not Hendrick.
And I didn't even like saying, because Jordan went up there and talked to him after the race. All that stuff.
I hate it for Jordan.
Why'd
you do it then?
Why'd you do it?
Should have thought about that.
If you have that big of a problem with Jeb Burton, you go up there and you try to fight him.
Yeah. And this is one thing I wanted to say about Jeb.
You're going to lose that fight.
well, here's the deal with Jeb. I do think Jeb would beat Sam's ass. I don't think there's a ton of people out there that wouldn't.
I mean, if Ty Gibbs can get you, I think fucking Jeb Burton will handle you.
But my problem with Jeb is quit talking about it. I don't know how many times, and I like Jeb Burton. I like Jeb Burton a lot. I like his podcast. I like listening to him and Ward talk. It's fun.
He's got a podcast?
Yeah, him and Ward have a podcast.
Everybody got a
together.
fucking podcast. We're fucked, bro.
Yeah, we have no shot. But but yeah,
Jeb. Start showing dick.
I like Jeb. I don't think Jeb is the best race car driver in the world. But I root for those guys that have to scrap and claw for everything, and he's been that way. And he performs sometimes, and sometimes he doesn't, and it is what it is. But I don't know how many times I've heard Jeb get out of the car after having a run-in with somebody and say, I'm going to kick his ass, or that guy deserves an ass whooping, or I'm going to wreck the dog food out of him, or whatever, and then he does absolutely nothing. And quit talking about it, be about it. And there's no doubt in my mind that he wanted to fight him, and there's no doubt in my mind that he probably could have, but you never saw Jeb walk up to him and talk to him. You saw Jordan Anderson go over there and talk to him. So,
and like I said,
you
after
can't.
It happened, he might have had to go to the infield care center.
He might have, but quit telling people if I walked over there wouldn't be much talking. Quit saying that shit. Yeah. Either do it or don't.
Yeah. As much as I don't like Austin Hill, he'll go up there and
punch Myatt Snyder
in
the face.
Myatt
Snyder.
He was in the race on Saturday. Yeah, I agree with you on Jeb, and the Talladega incident this year. I wouldn't say I root for Jeb, but it's a cool story. A Burton. I watched his dad and his uncle race when I was growing up, so that part of me's always be like, as a Burton in there, I always cheer for him. Same thing with Harrison. Always kind of have a soft side for those guys, but yeah, Jeb, I agree with you. If Jeb's going to talk all that talk on the radio and never do anything really about it,
which he did get him back on the racetrack, which is completely fair. But
I mean that action by Sam deserves an ass whooping.
Yeah,
like
it's Jeff Gordon. It's Jeff Gordon, Clint Boyer level.
It's Matt Kenseth, Joey Logano.
Yeah, like there's certain. It's Ron Hornaday, Kyle Busch. Like it's that bad, and you can't. I mean, we have a segment about this, and this will probably come up again. But like, you can't do that. Like, there's not a lot that you can't do in racing to pay somebody back. Like, nobody's gonna. Like, even if he spun him out like on purpose during the race, I think most people would be like, maybe shouldn't have done it, but it is what it is, right?
We're still racing.
Yeah, we're racing. But after the race, to dive in there, right hook the guy in the left rear quarter panel and drive him into the fence, like, that's uncalled for. There's literally nothing that Jeb Burton could do to you in the middle of a race that would deserve that.
Yeah.
And it's just, it shows a lack of maturity, and it shows a lack of emotional intelligence, and a lack of understanding for repercussions, because now you're out of the car this week. You had an opportunity to finish, fifth in points, because he was in the championship, or in the final 8, which means he can finish as high as fifth in the points because he didn't make it to the round, or to the championship round. So if he was there this weekend and finished fifth or won the race or whatever, he'd finish fifth in points, which is a much bigger payday for the team, a much bigger payday for him, and now he's not going to be there. So he will finish as low as he can now. He has no chance of getting points this weekend. Now, granted, the car owner, which is what the payouts are actually based on, Ryan Sieg's driving that car this weekend. So, he could still go out there and get the car owner points, and get that car to finish in fifth. But, it's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. And, hopefully he learns from it, but I don't think he will.
Yeah, the spring Martinsville race, is how upset we were with Sammy Smith. But I think this is worse than what Sammy did.
It is.
Because they were still, last lap, the racing was still going on, and Sammy just drives through the back of Taylor Gray and creates fucking chaos, which that whole race was chaos. This instance, checker flag's already out. You probably got some guys that are starting to unbuckle their seat belts and, unplugging stuff on the cool down
Which
lap.
they're not supposed to, but
I know.
They do.
But, everybody does. You do that the wrong way, and the 27 gets completely turned around and runs in
or the 27
right in front of the fucking.
The 27's unbuckled, and you wreck him.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Who was it last year? Maybe 2 years ago. Was it the 23 and the 48 at Chicago?
Yeah, after the 48 won the race.
And he came up there and beat his rear bumper off. Did he spin him out? I don't remember.
No, he just sideswiped.
That's
him
what it
real
was.
Hard, put him in the wall.
Yeah. So inexcusable rather, and it's a safety issue. It's financially irresponsible. It's just inexcusable, and Sam needs to learn from it. But like I said, I don't think he will.
If this doesn't get his the alarm bells going, I don't think anything will. It's like Austin Hill. And Austin Hill's way older than Sam Mayer. I just don't think those two they'll never. You could say that about Ty Gibbs, but Ty Gibbs had the backing of driving for his grandfather.
Yeah.
These two guys don't have that going for them. I just don't think they're not right in the head. It's not the right word. I don't think they're mentally unstable, but I just don't think
they lack emotional intelligence. They don't know how to handle their emotions.
Yeah, you got to be a pro if you want to be in the Cup Series. I think both those guys lack it very much. Austin Hill flipping off the crowd at Talladega last weekend.
Again, I know I've said it on this podcast as well. I get mad too. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But in the spot that you're in, with the amount of money that you're responsible for, with the safety that you're responsible for, you cannot do that kind of thing. And one thing I will say is, a lot of the comments that I saw Saturday and Sunday on Facebook posts and whatever else are people talking, well, Jeb Burton's a silver spoon. He shouldn't be there. He's only there because of his name. Do you not think that Sam Mayer's there because of the money that's backing him? Do you not think that he's not being supported by somebody as well?
And that's what I hate about the Chase Elliott argument, and other people like that. But Chase, especially Chase, because he's got talent. Yes, it does help that you have a name behind that your dad was a famous Cup driver.
But if you couldn't do it, you wouldn't be there.
If you couldn't do it and you didn't have the sponsors to back you up, he wouldn't be there. So I always hate that argument.
There's maybe
that shit.
There's maybe other than like the old guys. So like you got Brad Keselowski. Obviously his dad was a race car driver, but like, you know, just not talking ill about the dead or anything, but wasn't a very good one. I think he won one truck race in his own equipment, did it the old school way. So not really financially backing his son, just, you know, had some knowledge of how to get him in the sport. Then you got, like you said, Chase Elliott, and then you got...
You can say Ryan Blaney a little bit, but Dave Blaney was not a great
then you
NASCAR
got
driver.
Denny Hamlin. I mean, his dad helped him get in. I mean, but everybody had help getting in there.
You can't get there without any help.
But a lot of the younger drivers are all, like, really, really backed. There's really not any that aren't. Priest doesn't really have a ton of help. Busher kind of made his own way. But most of the guys in the Cup Series...
Hell, Chase Briscoe, he wouldn't get that. He wouldn't have got that 19 ride at Bass Pro Shops, and Johnny Morris wasn't okay with him getting it.
But what I'm saying is there's maybe 10 guys in the Cup Series that didn't have, like, a ton of money.
Yeah.
Like, a ton of money.
We give shit about Austin Dillon. I think he's a good enough Cup Series driver to be in the Cup Series. Now,
Sure.
yes, his grandfather is the owner, but you got to have the sponsors. And Austin Dillon's did a good job of holding a whole bunch of sponsors for a long time with Bass Pro Shops and those other sponsors that he has.
But everybody's had help.
Yeah.
There's nobody that has made it to where they're at without somebody saying, "Hey, Rick, you should put my buddy in the car," or "Rick, go watch this guy," or "Hey, Jack Roush, you should really look at Chris Buescher here. He's a good race car driver. You know, he's got this sponsor that might be able to, you know, give you some money." And, you know, everybody's had that, right? So just because Jeb Burton is a Burton, do you think he would be racing for Jordan Anderson if Ward Burton really had that much influence on what car he got in?
He'd be in Junior Motorsports right now.
Do you not think that,
JGR.
like, if it was really that important what his name was, that he and Harrison Burton would be in the best equipment? No. Sure, it helps. It helps networking. It helps knowing people. But if he couldn't do it, he would not be in the car. And this is a race with, like, he's won races. He's driven in the Cup, like, it wasn't very good, but he was in the Cup Series for a long time. Like, the guy can drive. And this is not a silver spoon kid sort of situation. Like, you know, we like to talk shit about the Dillons and all those guys that are only there because of their name, but they would not be there if they could not do it.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say about this, you know, we scream on this podcast about personality. And I do like that we have personality in the Xfinity Series. Probably have it more in the Xfinity Series than we do in the Cup Series.
Yeah.
With Sam and Austin Hill, you know, the way Jeb, like I like that we have personalities, and I don't want these guys to not say what they feel.
I love the interview.
Yeah, you know, maybe you'll tighten it up a little bit
No,
based off what you did.
I love the interview.
Based off what you did. So I'm not saying we need to eliminate, you know, just you know, we got it. My throttle's hung, or you know, I don't want him to do that. So I want him to keep that. I think it's like he's got. But also they'll have a chip on their shoulder. They have something to motivate them to keep on going and going and going. And then, you know, anybody gets in their way, they're going to have a problem with it and all that stuff. I like that. We need more of that. But you got to learn when to back it up and when to maybe just, that was fucking stupid, you know, of your actions. So, you know, I don't want them to become fucking vanilla people and just not say shit and just be like, oh yeah, whatever, and then just be nothing else. I do like that, but you know, we got to learn when to say stuff and when not to say stuff, and when to do stuff and when not to do stuff. And what Sam did at the end of that race was unacceptable, and you cannot do that if you ever want to even think about being a Cup Series driver.
Yeah.
Phoenix this weekend.
Yes, it is.
Got Denny Hamlin, got Chase Briscoe, got Kyle Larson, and we got William Byron. So, between those four guys, who is the championship favorite there, Riley?
Well, obviously, I'm a little biased, but I'm going to say it's going to be one.
Swisher.
I think it's going to be one of the Toyotas that win it, and the reason I'm saying that is I think Denny has been the best driver all year. Now he's had some issues. He's had pit road. He's had mechanical.
Had one this weekend.
But I think, if you had to pick a driver all year who was most likely to win a race every week, it would be Denny Hamlin. Or Blaney. But Blaney doesn't have a shot this weekend. So I think Denny Hamlin, if nothing goes wrong, will have the best opportunity to win the race. I think he should be the favorite. I think if I had to put money on it, it would be Denny, even if I didn't have an interest in him winning the race. But I think Denny will have the best opportunity. Will have the best car. He'll have the best shot at getting it done. I think second is Briscoe. Briscoe's really good at Phoenix. He's really good at these style of tracks. He's been really fast throughout the playoffs. And like I said, he's won here before and not great equipment. And now he's here with great equipment, with a chance to win this race. Has not had as many issues as Denny, which is why I put him there. The Chevrolets have been hit or miss. The Toyotas have been good all year, which is why, so the Chevrolets have been behind the Toyotas all year, on average. The Toyotas have been the best. Chevy's been the second, and Ford has been third. So another reason why I think the Toyotas are the favorites. But I think I won't be surprised if one of the Toyota drivers don't win it, because obviously, as we know, Kyle Larson won his championship because he was the first off pit road on the last restart, and anything.
But he was good enough all day to put himself
in a position. But if he came off second, he would have finished second. And
Truex is better than him.
Yeah, so we know that's how it goes at Phoenix. So it really is kind of a crapshoot at the end of these races. If you get a late race caution, qualifying is going to be very important, because if you get that last first pit stall, which I think that they're still doing, the championship drivers get the first 4 picks regardless of where they qualify.
Yeah. Which is dumb.
Yeah, but I think they will all qualify top 7 probably. So I don't think it matters that much. But whoever gets the pole, which it will be a championship driver in my opinion, probably Briscoe, because he's been the best qualifier all year. I think it's going to be. I think it's an uphill climb for the Chevrolet drivers this weekend. I think the Toyotas are the favorite, and my pick's Denny because he's a better driver than Briscoe.
What I worry about with Denny is just still the
mental and the mechanical.
The mental and the mechanical, the M's for the 11.
That's why I said if nothing goes wrong,
yeah.
If he doesn't fight, which they can't put tape on a car.
Denny can say all this stuff about it, it is what it is. I don't want a championship, all that stuff. And then when you get to that point where you have a chance again, where you haven't had one in 4 years, does that shit start creeping back up into your mind? Does 2010 start creeping back up into your mind? Does 2014? Does 2019? Does 2020? Does 2021? That shit start creeping back into your mind, midway through the race, and you're third or whatever, and maybe you're leading the race, and you got a pit stop, and you just don't trust your pit crew because they've not been the best this year. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong for that 11, and it's not really anything that physically will happen. It's just mentally for the 11. Now he won Vegas, and he drove the last 15 laps of his life at Vegas to get himself in this position, and they prepared for Phoenix.
And that's another thing that I didn't mention is winning Vegas puts you in a really good position.
That definitely will help. I think the 11 will be not the best car, the second best car. Briscoe, I just kind of have a feeling like he's the weak link here. His first championship for Phoenix, not his best track. It's a good JGR track, but you remember in the spring he I forgot what happened to him, but he got in a wreck. You picked him, and he got in that big wreck on the backstretch. Didn't have a good car anyways. So one race here in the 19 car, that 19 was not good. So, and it's just his first championship for the other guys have had experience with this. I think Briscoe could not succumb to the pressure, but just not quite have it compared to the other guys. It's another level you got to step up to in the championship race.
11 city shit.
And I don't think the 19 is quite there yet. I think he's the weakest link. The 5, he was very good here in the spring. Finished third. We haven't seen a whole lot of race winning speed out of that 5 car in a long. He still has not won since Kansas.
In the spring.
And I think you have to win this race. So Larson, I don't know how I feel about the 5 car. He'll have the speed, and pit road will be fine. Cliff Daniels will have a great car set up for him. They'll have great strategy if it comes down to it. Cliff Daniels is always on top of that. He's probably one of the best crew chiefs out there when it comes to that stuff. It's just according to if they can have that extra oomph, have that 5th gear to get themselves in position to win this championship. I don't know if they will. Then 24 car William Byron, regular season champion, struggled for about a lot of these playoffs. Was able to survive and advance, and then he goes out there and wins Martinsville last week in dominating fashion. Had a lot of momentum. It's his 3rd straight year being in the championship 4. He's the only guy that made it this year that made it last year. So, he's got recency of, what all this is about and all that stuff. Larson didn't make it last year, made it 2023. Denny hadn't made it since 2021 up until now, and then Briscoe's never made it. So he's got the most he'll be the most comfortable, I think, going into this weekend, just based off he's done it now for 3 straight years. And Phoenix, not his best track, but he has won here, and he's got momentum. So I lean towards the 11 and the 24 right now. I'm going to, for the favorite, I will still say the 11, just based off they've had time to prepare. They almost won this race in the spring. They finished second to Christopher Bell. All these guys should be good. They will be. I mean, I still say how good all these guys are
NASCAR
for most of the part.
cheat.
NASCAR lets them get away with some stuff. I don't care what anybody says because they're always so good. I can't remember a time. Well, Reddick last year wasn't all that good at Phoenix. He was like 10th, I think. So maybe other than Reddick, we really haven't seen a guy that's not been in the top 5.
The 20 wasn't that good a couple years ago when he blew that brake rotor either.
Well, he was good. He just blew a little brake rotor.
I thought he was running like mid-pack.
No, he was fast. He was coming through. He had a bad qualifying effort. He
Is
was
that
coming
what it
away
was?
through the field. Yeah, it happened really early. So, unless something happens, usually all these guys are up towards the front the whole race. Chase got wrecked 2022.
Wrecked himself.
Whatever it was, he wrecked. Obviously, he didn't have nothing after that, but I'm leaning towards the 11 and the 24 being the 2 favorites this weekend. I'm going to lean towards the 11 just because I think he's had more raw speed over the season, and he's had 2 weeks to prepare for this. 24 last week, had to go in there and couldn't worry about Phoenix yet. Couldn't even think about Phoenix unless they won that race in Martinsville, and they did. Dominating fashion, they did a great job. But now they've had less time to prepare for Phoenix, unlike the 11. And the 19 will be strong. I just don't know if he'll have enough to compete with the 11, the 24, and even the 5. So right now I'm leaning towards the 11 being the championship favorite. But again, that's just more of a mental thing for the 11. You can say all these things, but once it comes down to it, you're back in this position again. It's like the Buffalo Bills in the 90s. We're trying to get to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. You keep going to the Super Bowl, you can't win it. And you go back there again, and you still can't win it. So it's when halfway through the race, if Denny's not doing quite as good as he was hoping he'd be, he can't catch a 24 out there. He can't catch a 19. That's when those mental games will start kind of bothering Denny, I think. He's old enough now where I think he's way more mature now than he's ever been in his career. So that's what's got going for him. I just, again, till I see it, you always have that in the back of your mind. And that goes in part of anything in racing, sports, life. You can get to that point of getting there to where you want to do what you want to be or however you want to be. And then when you get to it, you have to execute and you have to do it. And you have to prove it to yourself that you can do it. Until I see that 11 car do it, I'm always going to have a little bit of doubt in my mind about that 11 car.
Yeah, it's a fair point. You know what they say, though. At least you know what I say. ABB.
JT Daniels.
ABB. Anybody but Byron.
Oh. I did ABB. I was like, the fuck is ABB?
Anybody but Byron.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Fuck William Byron.
He's gonna be a problem this weekend.
I hope he is. I hope he's a problem. I hope he's in the way. I hope he's slow.
I don't think
he's
that.
a moving chicane.
I do not.
I hope they forget to put a plug wire
I
on.
will say, though, in qualifying, I think it's going to be a little different. I do not think their championship 4 guy will be on the pole.
I do. I think it's going to be Briscoe. I think Briscoe or Byron will qualify on the pole.
Or Denny.
Or Denny.
Or Larson.
Or Larson.
No, I think you always have one guy that doesn't qualify great in this race for the championship 4 guys. Usually it's past couple of years it's been Blaney. Usually qualifies like 14th, 18th. Then work his way up through the field
Like
throughout
he did
the
at
race.
Martinsville, qualified 37th.
Yeah. God almighty. Anyways, I think a line playoff guy will get the pole. I think the guys.
Chris Buescher.
I think the guys will kind of be. He's good here. I think they'll kind of be spread out to start this race. I think you'll have a guy that starts like 3rd, then maybe a guy that starts like 5th, then a guy that starts like 10th, another guy that starts like 15th.
32nd. William Byron.
Blows a motor.
Hope he crashes in qualifying.
We'll have to see. But hit that button for RTT.
Ripping the topics.
Ripping
the topics.
RTT got another fucking lawsuit update, Riley. Why don't you tell me about those things?
So, seems like yesterday, Judge Kenneth Bell dismissed NASCAR's countersuit, which NASCAR was suing 2311 and Front Row Motorsports in a countersuit because of their illegal collusion with the other NASCAR teams, with the what was it called? The Owners Alliance or whatever it was that they had put together to negotiate on behalf of the owners with NASCAR. But Kenneth Bell dismissed that lawsuit, stating that they didn't do anything that changed the outcome of the negotiations, and that NASCAR was still able to negotiate with the teams directly without going to the coalition of the owners to negotiate. And actually cited that one of the provisions in the charter agreement was agreed upon with a team, or a team directly requested, singularly, that this provision be put in the charter agreement, and it was agreed upon with NASCAR and that team that we put in there without any involvement from the group. So Kenneth said, hey, no, they didn't do anything wrong. So they threw out the countersuit, meaning essentially the only thing that will matter going forward is 2311 and Front Row Motorsports' suit against NASCAR. It seems like NASCAR put out a statement yesterday saying that, or maybe it was early today, that they're looking to settle this case, that they want to get it done as quickly as possible. They don't want to go to trial. And this is pretty much what I've been saying from the beginning since this lawsuit started, that NASCAR is going to lose this lawsuit. And I think that this is kind of
the sign
that NASCAR kind of knows that it's probably not going to work out for them. Here's the problem. I think 2311 Front Row Motorsports know that they're going to win the lawsuit as well. So, or at least have a pretty good idea. So why would they settle? Because they're going to get more out of the lawsuit than they would from any settlement from NASCAR. NASCAR is not going to give them everything in a settlement. Now, they might want to just be done with it and, save money and not have to go to trial, not have to pay these legal fees any further or whatever. So that's a possibility. But I do think that the plaintiff in this situation, the race teams, definitely have the leg up, and everything that has happened thus far has kind of proven that to me, that NASCAR is in the losing position here. NASCAR had, or Denny Hamlin had an interview this weekend at Martinsville, and somebody asked him about the lawsuit and the negotiation, and he said, I think both sides think that they're right, and both sides think they have the winning argument, but one of us is on a suicide mission. And I don't think that he's talking about the race teams. I don't think he would talk about himself in that way. So he thinks that NASCAR is not willing to negotiate and are going to end up killing themselves, so to speak, killing the brand, killing the sport, based on their unwillingness to negotiate in fairness with the teams. So so far, no updates on that. There's possibility that before December comes around that this will be over, and they'll negotiate and they'll come to an agreement before the court date. But so far, nothing has come out about that. NASCAR did say in their statement that they wanted to get it done before Phoenix, have a settlement before Phoenix so the teams could focus on Phoenix. Now, that's 4 days from now? 5 days from now? So good luck. Hopefully they get it done. I'd be all right with them settling, but if I'm front row or 2311, I'm taking this shit to trial. I'm emboldened by the judge's decision to throw out NASCAR's countersuit. I think I've got the winning case, and I'm going to get more in the long run by taking this to trial than I would by any agreement. So we've come this far. I do not think there will be a settlement. I will not be surprised if there is one, but I would be inclined to think that the lawsuit will continue. It will go to trial, and we'll get a settlement by a judge.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm glad that Kenneth decided on that, countersuing for not saying NASCAR could countersue 2311 front row for all that stuff. Obviously, I do agree that NASCAR has realized maybe they are not as in good of a shape as they thought they were going to be at this point. And they're trying everything now just to try to limit damage for themselves. Right now, obviously, like I said, the bridge has been burned too far to where 2311 front row will ever settle with them, because I think they are in the catbird seat when it comes to this trial that's coming up in December. And NASCAR now is realizing that, hey, maybe we bit off more than we can chew here. We might be in trouble. Let's try to do everything we can to settle and do everything we can to get the teams in a bind and eliminate their chances of winning this trial and eliminate chances of it going to trial. But when you've done everything you've done, when how long this has gone on, all the stuff that's been said, I just do not see this being settled. And this news right here just kind of clarifies it that 2311 front row are feeling good right now, and NASCAR is not feeling as good as probably they were feeling 3-4 months ago. I think NASCAR I don't care what they say, when this shit started, I think NASCAR wanted to settle. I don't think they wanted to go to trial with 2311 front row. There's more for them to lose than 2311 front row.
Especially, yeah, I agree. But I will say this.
Now, the race team wise, it might be bad for front row 2311.
The one thing that makes
the image.
The one thing that makes me disagree with you on that point is, if NASCAR wanted this to go away, they would not have countersued them.
That's fair.
I think the countersuit proved that NASCAR thought that they had the winning argument. So I think NASCAR kind of overplayed their hand here. So it's kind of like a negotiation, right? With like, you're going to buy a car. You wouldn't go in to, if I was trying to buy a car from you, I wouldn't come to you and say, hey man, that Ford truck you got outside, I'm willing to pay $30,000 for it. Mm-hmm. But would you do it for 20? You're going to say, no, give me 30.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't start off with the high end, right?
Yeah.
So I think that NASCAR overplayed their hand. I think that the teams knew that. I think the teams knew that they had to win an argument, and NASCAR said, you know what? Hey, I told you that we would give you 30, but would you take 20? Yeah. And now that 2311 knows that the 30's on the table, they're not going to take the 20 because they know that they're going to win in the long run. So there's no reason to negotiate. So unless NASCAR comes to them with just a great deal that's, giving them essentially everything they want, there's no reason for them not to go to trial, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. I don't know, man. I think that the way this is shaping out to be, I just want this shit to be over. In December, let's say, I think we talked about this before. If we go like we think it's going to go, how does NASCAR respond if 2311 and Front Row win this lawsuit? The whole sport changes.
Well, it depends. Yeah, it depends on what the findings of the court are, which I have.
2311 Front Row could win, but also maybe the courts don't necessarily agree with everything that they want.
It's true.
Too.
It's true.
It could kind of be, even if they win, it could kind of be a settlement.
Essentially.
In a way.
So, it depends on what the findings are. It depends on what the judge says. It depends on what points of the lawsuit that the court agrees with and disagrees with, and it depends on and I could be wrong on this. I'm not a civil attorney by any means. I know enough about it to know I don't know shit. But from what I understand, the court can impose that NASCAR changes certain language in their, essentially their terms and conditions, their charter agreements, their rule sets, based on the legality of those rules. So if the court finds that NASCAR mandating that the NASCAR teams participate in every race, which I'm not saying that they would, but if NASCAR, if the court says, hey, that's illegal, you can't do that, they could mandate that they change that rule. But that doesn't mean that they are going to change the championship format or change every rule in the rule book or mandate that, they do this or they do that. They just say, hey, this rule that you have does not fit within the legal bindings of United States civil law, so you're going to have to change it or be fined or, whatever. So it doesn't mean that everything about NASCAR is going to change, but if 2311 and Front Row win this lawsuit, things will change. I just don't know what they are.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a whole lot more to say about it. It's just...
One thing I will say as well, sorry to interrupt, going to be super funny if Denny wins this championship this week and the president of NASCAR has to give him the championship trophy as he's being sued by that driver. That would be fucking hilarious.
That would be funny as hell. And something tells me it might be divine intervention that shit might happen. But overall, I just I'm hoping whatever happens is the best for NASCAR in the long run. And I think the best thing for NASCAR is for them to lose this lawsuit, because I think there's a lot of things that they just clearly do not understand about modern day business and how you can grow a sport back to where the heyday of NASCAR was. And they are so stuck in their ways.
But the argument is NASCAR was running it this way when it was that way.
Yeah.
It's always been,
that's fair.
You do it my way or you go home. And that's when NASCAR was at its best. So that's the argument from the other side.
I think the leadership, though, back then was more in tuned than it is right now.
Yeah.
I think you had better leadership people that, teams wouldn't dare cross paths with, wouldn't dare argue against. Nowadays, it's a whole bunch of talking heads, and they just act like they know everything, everything's best for the sport, and they don't, because clearly you've seen, based off ratings and all this stuff, the championship format and everything that's been going on these past 15, 20 years, it's led to the decline of NASCAR. You can't keep on saying that everything's fine and we know what we're doing when you continue to lose popularity and lose these big-time sponsors that NASCAR has lost these past 10, 15 years. You know, you got to look yourself in the mirror. And it's all great. You know, you can all say my way or the highway when you're booming, you know, back in the day, late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, you got the biggest sponsors. You got huge TV ratings. You got your rival in the NFL and the biggest watches each Sunday, you know, and you got 7, 8 million viewers tuning in every week. And I get there's more out there these days, but and so doesn't the NFL. I get the NFL is a different entity, and it's, you know, they're huge now, but it's not that different. You can still do it these days. You just got to do it the right way, and I think NASCAR is. There's been a lot of things these past 15 years that have ruined the sport, and has made the decline of NASCAR what it is today. So, you know, back in the day, you can say my way or the highway because it was working. Right now, you can't say that. You can't say that. You got 2 million people, if you're lucky. Your championship race this weekend, you're lucky to get 2 or 3 million people to watch it. Just because a lot of people are sick with the playoffs, sick with the car, whatever it is, sick with the track at Phoenix. You know, football is way more popular than NASCAR now, that they don't even care about NASCAR now. They watch it during the summertime with nothing else to watch, and they forget about it when the playoffs start, whatever it is. That, you know, you're not a top-tier sport anymore, and when you're not a top-tier sport anymore, when you used to be, you got to realize that, and you got to realize that maybe I need to do some things differently. And if they lose this lawsuit, I think that's what good will come out of it. They have to look themselves in the mirror and realize they have to change stuff, and maybe some of that stuff will change into other stuff, and then make NASCAR better in the long run. And I think that's our hope. That's why we're cheering for the teams in the situation, because I think there's things that they can do, that can make this sport better again. And right now, there's no pressure from them until this lawsuit goes through. If it does, then they got to change some stuff, and I think that's the best thing for NASCAR.
Yeah. 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 Oh.
All right, I changed the RTT topic. Biggest championship for
Since
snub is Ryan Blaney. You agree?
Yeah.
Cool.
We already talked about it for an hour earlier.
The new topic right here is a lot of rumors been going around about, you know, the championship changing for next year. So is this the last championship race? One race championship race this weekend. Is this the last one?
I do believe so. I would have hoped NASCAR would have already announced what the championship format was next year. I do think it's going to change. Gut feeling says chase for the Cup style playoff 10 race championship round. That's better than this, in my opinion. Still not great. Not my favorite. I would like the 36 race, obviously, but similar to the lawsuit that we just talked about, you can't always get what you want. If there's a settlement here, and both parties can get happy, the fans get a little bit of what they want, and the TV networks and NASCAR and the drivers and the owners all get a little bit of the pie and get a little bit of a say, and they come to an agreement about what to do. It is what it is, and that's better than what we got. So I would be okay with the 10-race championship playoff format and crowning a championship based on that. I will say this. It does not need to be fucking 16 drivers. It should not be winning you're in. It should be the top 12, top 10 in points, preferably 10, but probably 12. The top 12 drivers on points at the end of the year, at the end of 26 races, make it in. You can still do stages. You can still do playoff points. You can still do stage points and all that. You can still do seeding based on the regular season. Make the regular season matter a little bit more, but it no eliminations, and may the best team win. That way you still have a chance to win the championship if you're, if you sneak your way in and you're 12th in points and you got no playoff points and you got no stage points and you're 12th and you go off and rattle 7 wins, you still have a chance to win the championship. But if you win for 26 races in the regular season and you don't win a race in the playoffs, you also still have a chance to win the championship. So that's the way I would think it needs to be done. I think that's what's going to happen, but we'll see.
Yeah, I am predicting that it will be the last championship race, one race thing. How much talk and buzz has been around the championship format changing, I just don't see it not doing anything. Now, I don't know how the lawsuit plays into this, if they're waiting on the lawsuit to be determined or whatever they're doing. But luckily, this is the last time we got to deal with a championship 4, in my opinion. Now, I could see a thing where they do a championship round instead of the 10-race chase, which I prefer. I think it's right up there with 36, a 36-race season. I think that either one of them, I'm a little different than you. I would guess I would prefer a 36-race championship format, season long. But then again, part of me still feels like you need to have some entertainment factor in case it does get out of hand. So the 10-race playoff, 10-race chase, I'd be just as excited about it if they did that over a 36-race season. I don't give a damn. Either one of them, I would take it and run with it. But I do feel like they're probably going to do like a 3 or 4 race championship round, and they'll probably still have eliminations, and you might have a different way of doing the first round. You might have a wild card round, or wild card race to where you can get in at Daytona if you win the race or something like that to create drama still at the end of the regular season to give the underdog a chance and all that stuff. But like I said, top 10, top 12 in points, I think is good for me to say that, hey, you've done enough all regular season to whether you have a win or not. Obviously wins do matter, and that's what the goal is, but running consistent throughout the season and having good finishes week in and week out for most of the season is more impressive than winning a race at fucking Daytona, or Talladega or Atlanta or a field mileage race at Michigan or whatever to get yourself in the playoffs with winning you're in. I hope winning you're in is out, but if you want to have that winning you're in still kind of in there, you can throw that Daytona race at the end of the regular season and have the wild card race be in there to determine your last spot in the playoffs. I'd be fine with that. It creates drama, it creates intrigue, but doesn't affect the mortality of the playoffs in itself. You get a guy that gets lucky and gets in the playoffs, gets that money, sponsorship money, helps out the team, blah, 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 blah. And then, they go out there in the playoffs and you got to fucking run top 5 every week if you want to have a chance to win the championship from there on out. But I think we're going to have a championship round. It's going to be like 3 or 4 races. I think it'll be maybe the top 5 guys, maybe not 4, but maybe top 5 advance from the round of whatever, according to how many playoff guys you have in there. I'm hoping it'll be like 12 to max. I wouldn't want more than 12 playoff guys, in my opinion. 12 is enough. That's a third of the field. That's enough. 16 right now is more than.
It's almost half.
Almost half of the field, and I get other sports are doing that with wild cards and play-in games.
There's too many teams in the baseball playoffs. There's too many teams in the NFL playoffs. There's too many teams in the NBA playoffs.
It's just give the little guy hope and to give everybody hope. Well, guess what?
Everybody gets a trophy.
But guess what? Everybody does not deserve to make it. And
said everybody wants to rule the world. I was fixing the tape.
Oh, sure. If you don't execute throughout the whole season, you don't deserve to make the playoffs. And getting lucky on winning one race should not allow you to make the playoffs over a guy that's ran, 5th to 10th all year, and be like 9th or 10th in points. Who does that remind you of this year? Chris Buescher.
Never heard of him.
So, Chris Buescher deserved to make the playoffs more this year than Austin Dillon, and could argue maybe Shane Van Gisbergen because he was so low in points, although he won 5 fucking races this year. Maybe a little different with Shane, but, consistency needs to be rewarded again. And I think the only way to do that is to have a certain system where the top 10 in points is guaranteed to make the playoffs, and you can kind of work your way around having a wild card here and there, have that wild card race at Daytona to where if you win the race, you're in the playoffs, or whatever you want to do. If you want to still create that type of winning your in system, just don't do it throughout the whole season. I can live with that, and then have a championship round of 3 or 4 races at 3 or 4 distinct tracks, and the top 5 guys that make it in, have them race it out for 3 or 4 races. And, at the end of the last race at Homestead, we'll see what you got. If the guy's got a 25-point lead because he executed the first 3 races better than the other 3 or 4 guys, and hey, so be it. I mean, they had their chances. Every season is not going to come down to a barn burner, tight points battle. It's just not how it works in racing. Racing is different. So let's not continue to try to make it about, making it intriguing and dramatic at the very last race. You don't have to do that. Letting it develop naturally is most of the time a better option than trying to supernatural or artificially make it interesting.
Facts.
All right, well, let's get into the truck and Xfinity races on Friday and Saturday. We had Corey Haim win yet a fucking again in the trucks for his 11th or 12th win of the season. 11th win of the season.
Maybe 12.
Motherfucker on a roll.
Like Cotton.
I don't think he even had the best truck on Friday night.
He didn't.
But hey, it worked out for him in the end, and was able to get another win. Tom Majeski snuck his way in there. What's his name?
Caden Honeycutt.
Oh, yeah, Caden. He did make it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he made it. And then who else made it?
What the fuck?
Wasn't it? It wasn't Grant.
Brett Bodine.
Yeah, it was him. Mike Skinner.
Yeah.
He made it.
Rick Corelli.
Who?
Rick Corelli. Tyler Ankrum.
Tyler Ankrum. That's right. He snuck his way in there. Raja he had a bad day, wrecked out.
Cut a tire, spun out.
Cut a tire. Yeah, Daniel Hamrick had another bad day.
Blew up.
Yeah, he blew up.
Because of damage.
Yeah, and Lane Riggs came up a little bit short. Just had a bad couple.
Had a
races
race-winning
there.
truck.
Yeah, I think he did. Missed a shift on a restart leading and lost the lead.
Never saw him again.
So kind of self-inflicted there by Lane. I think he deserves to be in the championship 4. He's been the second best truck all year most of the time. So it kind of sucks for Lane. But yeah, the race on Friday night was pretty good. He had some tempers flaring a little bit, had some wrecks, had some pretty interesting restarts. Nothing too egregious or too dirty. But then at the end of the day, Corey Haim just proved why he's just so much better than the rest of those guys.
It's
just
time.
Putting his truck in position to win the race, keeping his truck clean all night, and then, just why everybody else makes mistakes, he kind of goes out there and just kind of runs his own race, and then at the end of the race, you see him fucking leading the race and winning it. So, yeah, I'll say he's going to be the favorite this weekend at Phoenix if he don't win the championship. It is a catastrophic failure to the sport of NASCAR, considering how dominant he's been this season. And he probably won't. Tom Majeski's in it, and he is a fucking problem at Phoenix. So, but the race in itself was better than the Cup race. I thought it was some beating and banging, some good old short track racing. But at the end of the day, it kind of was anticlimactic because once the 11 got the lead, nobody could touch them.
Yep, I agree. Decent enough race. Was hoping the 34 would be able to work his way back up there, but couldn't. Texted you and said, what the fuck's 34 doing? He when he missed that shift, and was rooting for him, and just never had the opportunity to get back up there. But like you said, it was kind of anticlimactic once the 11 took the lead, and kind of just waved goodbye to everybody, and no one else really had a shot there. I think the race on Saturday ended up being a lot better than I expected it to be. I was hoping the
It's
truck.
the best race of the weekend.
Yeah, I was hoping the truck race would come down with some, guy below the cut line winning the race, or some point your way in stuff dramatically, which just didn't happen based on the way that the race kind of played out. But like I said, the Saturday race was better than Friday and better than Sunday. It was the best race of the weekend. Ended up being that
3, 4, 5 wide
yeah.
sometimes. Like it looked like a Technics game at Martinsville.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Beating and banging. There was some, like we talked about earlier, there was some frustration, wreck after the checkered flag. Just a good race overall. Wound up being that Connor Zilich, Carson Quapple, Justin Allgaier, and Jesse Love all made
All Chevys.
the final round, all Chevrolets. 3 Junior Motorsports Chevrolet and an RCR Chevrolet. So Chevy is guaranteed to win at least one championship this weekend.
Drivers' championship.
Drivers' championship, yeah. So
Because the 19 is in on the owners.
So
The 1 is not in on the drivers.
Yeah,
or
so
the owners.
that was really entertaining at the end of the race there. Between the 1, the 2, it was really close between them and the 8, and then because the 8 he ran second, had a chance to win the race late, which would have bumped Jesse Love out. Bumped Carson out. Excuse me.
Carson got spun out late.
Yeah.
When he was good on points, and I was fucking
Yeah.
losing my mind.
It was
at your
a-
house.
yeah, it was
I
really-
like,
it was a-
motherfucker. He's gonna miss out.
Yeah, it was a really good race. I was hoping, that Carson would make it. I hope him or Zilich end up winning the championship. Great race on Saturday. A lot of drama before, after, during the race. So that's all you can ask for in a short track. So I was really happy to see that.
Yeah, the Xfinity race on Saturday was really, really fun to watch. Kind of dominated by Toyotas. Eric Almirola was really strong all day. The 54 Taylor Gray that won was very good all day. Kind of sneaky. He was kind of quiet early, and then he kind of came on throughout the rest of the last half of the race. Was very strong. Clearly the best car there on Saturday, and deserved to win the race. And it's kind of redemption for him for what happened to him in the spring at this track, getting plowed through by the 8, and then had those late race restarts with the same guy behind you. Had to bring back some bad memories of 54, but the 8 needing a win didn't do it, which I wasn't surprised about, because you do that twice in a season to the same guy at the same track. I don't see how you survive through that. Sorry, the camera cut off there. But what I was saying was the 54 had to have some bad memories coming back to seeing the 8 car behind him at Martinsville. But he deserved to win the race. So I was kind of happy to see Taylor win there. And, he drives for JGR and Toyota. It was still good to see Taylor. He's had a couple of chances to win races this year. Couldn't quite get it done. Obviously, Martinsville in the spring was the main one. He's able to get his redemption, get his clock at this past weekend. But the point situation with Carson and Jesse Love, who was terrible all day, he's able to survive enough to where he's able to make it in on points. And then Carson getting spun out there late and rallying his way back up through the field, and being get enough points to beat out his teammate and the who else was close to him? Was it it wasn't the 41, was it? On points, wasn't that close, was it? It was somebody who was in the 8 again. It was the 4 that missed it was the 8.
The 41, the 21, and the 20.
No, the 21 didn't make it past this round because he won at Talladega. He would have been in the championship.
That's right. It was Sheldon.
So
The 00.
yeah. So Brandon Jones was the other one. That's right.
said that.
Brandon Jones. You said Brandon Jones?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that. So Brandon was kind of close on points as well. He was running 3rd or 4th. He needed to win as well, and he was very good all day, but couldn't quite get it done there at the end. So definitely the dramatics of it for this weekend for NASCAR tries to build up to this last round of the round of 8 for the championship 4. The Xfinity Series is the only series really did it. Now the Truck Series did have some drama with the 98 and the 34. To determine who's going to make it on Friday night. But for the most part, the Xfinity Series delivered on Saturday night. Nothing too crazy other than the 41 wreck and the 27 after the checkered flag. Nothing else was egregious. Nothing was dirty. It was the first Martinsville Xfinity race that felt kind of right and normal compared to what we've had the past couple of years at this track with this series. So it was a clean finish. Glad to see it. And glad my boy Carson got in. I don't think he has us. They don't have a great shot this weekend to win at Phoenix, but hey, it would put the championship for the one race championship to shame if he goes out there and
Finishes third and
wins the championship because Connor Zillich wrecks with Justin Allgaier and Jesse Love runs 10th all day or something. That'd be great for me because I'm a Carson fan. So I don't have any guys in the Cup Series to cheer for this weekend, but I do have a guy in the Xfinity Series to cheer for. So go Carson this weekend, shock the world. But overall, I thought it was a very good race on Saturday night. Enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun watching it. It was the most enjoyable race of the weekend for me up until the one got spun out. Then I was very on edge there for a while, but he still was able to make his way through the field, pass enough cars to beat out his teammate in the 20 cars. So, overall, a solid race on Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah. I gotta pee.
Attaboy.
Hit that button for Attaboy.
Hit it. Attaboy. Come on and shine. That is the boy. I'm going to give mine. This might shock you just a snad. Just a little bit.
A snad?
Just a schmidgen.
Is that even a word?
Just a minute amount. Just a cute amount.
Okay, who is it?
I'm going to give mine to old Sam Smith.
You bitch!
Really? You were going to pick
I
Sam
was going to
Smith?
give it to him for not driving through fucking
That's
Taylor
exactly
Gray.
why. He had every opportunity to wreck that dude twice in a row at Martinsville, go on, win a race, make the championship 4.
Which, I don't know, he probably would have got disqualified.
And he didn't do it. And, maybe learned from his past mistakes in Martinsville last year or early in the year. For whatever reason, just didn't make the decision to overdrive the corner and wreck the guy, which is good. Very surprised that he didn't do it, but
I'm not. You can't do that twice in a year.
You can. You can, and he had every opportunity, and I almost wouldn't have blamed him for doing so, especially if it was a little bit better executed, maybe not as egregious. But he didn't even put a bumper to him. He saw that he was beat, and he finished second. And I'm good with that. And that's kind of why I want the championship format to change, is because, you don't see that type of stuff very often anymore, where a guy is content with not winning the race and not progressing into the next round. And the guy that deserved to win the race won the race, and the guy that deserved to finish second finished second, and the guy in second didn't do anything stupid to change the results. And if the winning you're in format didn't exist, and the championship elimination playoff format didn't exist, you would rarely see a guy just drive in over his head to win a race. And that's what I want out of my NASCAR racing. I want the guy that deserves to win the race at the end of the race to win the race, regardless of if I want him to win or not. You can look at Sunday. I would not have wanted Ryan Blaney to go in there and just take out the 24 to win the race.
I wouldn't either.
And even though I wanted Ryan Blaney to beat him, I wanted him to beat him straight up, and he couldn't do it. And the guy that deserved to win the race won the race on Sunday, and same thing on Saturday. So nowadays, with these young drivers and growing up racing the way that they have to win these races. It was good to see that the 8 Sam Smith made the correct decision and not not doing that. So, attaboy, Sammy Smith.
Yeah, it's going to be mine. I guess I'll go and give mine to the obvious one in the room, elephant in the room. I'll give mine to William Byron.
Fuck that guy.
That's who I thought you were giving it to. Backs against the wall, below the playoff cut line, at a track where you haven't performed the best at the past couple races here.
NASCAR let him cheat.
Wouldn't be surprised. And he goes out there and leads 300 laps, starts on pole, and had the best car all day, and got past the guy that's been the best here the past couple of years in the fall, and drove away from him. And on a restart, had to deal with a restart, and drove away from him again. Just a lot of pressure on that 24 team, and they executed all day long. To have a bad pit stop, nothing like that to prevent them from not having a chance to win this race. And William Byron, I know he felt the pressure. You think back that Chase Elliott's more than likely a better driver here at Martinsville than him. Ryan Blaney, obviously, won the past 2 fall races up until this point. Probably a better driver than him at this track, and he didn't care about any of that. He went out there and won the race fair and square, and advanced himself to the championship 4. So a lot of pressure on that team. They did a great job all day executing and doing what needed to be done, and did it in a great way, or clean way, best way you could do it. Beat the asses field. So, attaboy, William Byron and team.
Beat the asses field.
Remember I said that at Darlington.
I don't recall.
Briscoe beat the asses field.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
You can't do that. You got the hiccups again. I think you've had the hiccups every time I've seen you for the past 2 months. You can't do that.
Yeah, I can't. My you can't do that this week. I'm going to give it to Sam Mayer, obviously. Talked about him at nauseum earlier, but you go out there and wreck somebody after the checkered flag, you're going to get it. Just another unacceptable move by Sam. He hadn't had nothing that egregious that I can remember. But, yeah, just you've lost. You're not in the championship 4. You got beat. You got roughed up a little bit by a non-playoff guy. Okay, you gave it to him first. Got to deal with it. You got to take it on the chin like a man and move on. But instead, you go out there and kamikaze him into the wall after the checkered flag. Then you say stupid shit. On his interview after the race, I thought it was funny, but it was kind of stupid. Just lacking self-awareness from Sam. And, now you're sitting out this week. You got another guy driving your car this week to end the season. It's like your wife going out on a date with another guy. I'm sure it's not going to feel good for Sam, but maybe that's what he needs. Maybe that's the wake-up call he needs. We thought it might be the thing that Austin Hill needed. Clearly it wasn't from his antics at Indy this year. So maybe it won't do anything for Sam. He gets a week ahead of everybody to prepare for Daytona. So he'll be fast at Daytona in February. Maybe that was his
in a Chevrolet.
His plan, in a Chevy. So I don't know, but it's a dumb move by Sam. Can't go out there and wreck somebody after the checkered flag's done. The racing's over. It's like it reminds me of Brian Branch of the Lions a couple weeks ago on Monday Night Football after or Sunday Night Football. When they lost to the Chiefs, Brian Branch goes up there and starts fucking fighting with.
I'd have fought that dude too.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Fuck that guy.
The game's over. Get over it. Stop being a little baby back bitch and take your lumps, take your loss, move on like a man. And Sam couldn't do that. And if you can't do that, I lose a lot of respect for you as a man and as a person. So you can't do that, Sam Mayer.
Yeah, I probably should have went first on this one because that was the only one to pick this week that I can think of.
I got one that we ain't even talked about. We ain't talked about this whole episode.
Who is it?
Oh, my God. I see him spinning out again.
Oh, Carson. Well, yeah, to be fair, half of them were people probably paying him back throughout the year.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I'll give my honorable mention, then we'll talk about that because I do have one that I did want to talk about outside of NASCAR. I'm going to give my honorable mention to
Lenore Sellers for fumbling the ball.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. I mean, it was.
I'm about
He
to say,
fumbled the ball,
yeah.
but I mean, it's a good play made by the defense there. But I'm going to give mine to another college football program, the Colorado Buffalo. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Buffalo. I used to be. I don't like Deion Sanders. I don't like whatever the fuck his son's name is. Either of them, Shiloh or Shador. I don't like Deion Jr. because he used to play at South Carolina and transferred like a little bitch. Wasn't good enough to play, so he had to transfer. And then I don't like Tyler
Ankrum.
No, Hunter, whatever the fuck his name is, Travis. I don't like any of those motherfuckers. But you know what I also don't like is bad football. I don't like watching a team have negative 16 yards at halftime, and that's bad. I
To
mean,
a Utah team that's not that great.
they're not. They're not great. They're not terrible, but they're not good enough to hold a team to negative 16 yards. So I said this when Deion was hired. He's not a football coach. He's not what that team needs. He was good enough. He's a flash in a pan, get some good players in there. But once everybody kind of realizes that, like, this is fool's gold, it's going to turn around. And even when they were good, quote unquote good, they weren't good. They were just acceptable at football.
Which, for Colorado standards, is...
Well, I mean, hey, they won a championship in 1994.
I'm talking about recently. They were terrible for like 6 years.
Yeah, they had a couple good years prior to that, but, beat Georgia one year. When? Like 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. It's really inexcusable to give up or to gain a negative 16 yards of offense.
Us sitting here this whole time
has minutes.
Had more yards than they did.
Yeah. So really inexcusable on that. But yeah, NASCAR related. Fucking what's his name? Carson Kosovar spun out 36 times on Sunday. Several times were off the front bumper of teammates or soon-to-be teammates. And then several times he spun out by himself, causing cautions in really important periods of the race. Shout out Ryan Preece, kind of ruined his day by spinning out. So, I don't like Carson. I don't dislike Carson, but I don't root for him by any means.
I thought the caution that screwed Preece was the 51.
Was that
his tire.
51 losing his tire?
I think it was.
It might have been
because it was right after he pitted.
Yeah, it might have been, but whatever. 31 or 51 or 77, it don't matter. Fuck them both. You can't do that to both those guys, I guess.
Yep, that makes sense. Well, we got some championships to talk about.
Oceanfront property in Arizona.
That might be my song.
From my front porch, I can see the racetrack.
Yes, you can. Phoenix this weekend. All three championships will be determined and decided this weekend at Phoenix. We'll start. Let's. How you want to do this? You want to?
We'll go by series. Go by
series.
Truck Xfinity.
What do you want to preview the races?
I mean,
we'll preview the Cup race at the end.
Yeah.
Truck race. You got Corey Haim. You got Tom Majeski. You got Tyler Ankrum, and you have Caden Honeycutt for the championship this weekend. Obviously, Corey Haim should be the favorite, but Tom Majeski is the champion from last year, and he is very good at Phoenix. Hadn't won a race this year, I don't think. So this will be the best time for him to pull it out there and win the race. And even though he has no business winning the championship, nobody has business winning the championship other than the 11 truck. But I'm going to say it's going to go to Corey Haim. I just think it's just too much. It's like Truex in 2017 at Homestead. He didn't have the best car that day, but he found a way to win at the end. And I think Corey Haim this year has done enough. He's won races where he probably hadn't deserved to win the races, and he's found a way to win at the end, whether it's people making mistakes or him just having good pit strategy or good restarts or whatever it is. I think he's gonna be able to do it and win the championship, win the race, get his 12th win of the season, which is already broken the Truck Series record for most wins in a season, but he'll add to that record this weekend, and he'll have stiff competition from that 98 truck. I think the 98 and the 11 are the two trucks to beat, and 98 has not won a race this year, to not executed when they've needed to, bad restarts, whatever it is, having to get the job done. And I think that'll continue this weekend, but I think they will finish first and second, and I think it'll be a good battle. But at the end of the day, I'm going to pick Corey Haim to get his first championship in the Truck Series.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the obvious pick, and he probably will win it. But I'm going to say that he doesn't. I'm going to pick the 98 to win it just because of his prowess at short tracks and his ability to get things done. Like you said, won the championship here last year. So I think he'll get it done. I'm rooting for him based on who I want to win it. But I think it would be hilarious. Caden Honeycutt won this championship, so he's going to be the
Tyler Ankrum.
Yeah, or either of those guys, to be honest. But
Tyler Ankrum ain't got no shot now.
No, he doesn't. But Caden Honeycutt would be hilarious to win the championship. So, it probably will be the 11, but I'm just to differentiate myself, I'll pick the 98.
Okay. All right, the Xfinity Series, we got Connor Zilich, Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love, and Carson motherfucking Quaffle.
Yeah, for this week in the Xfinity Series, all Chevrolets, like we said before, the 88's been the dominant car all year.
And real quick, we got the Manufacturers Championship 4 between the 88, the 7, the 2, and the 19.
Yeah, which
Eric Almirola will be driving.
Yeah, so
he won this race in the spring.
Which he could win this race this weekend. So, it wouldn't surprise me to see the 19 win this race, win the Constructors' Championship there, to use an F1 term. But, I think it's I think this is going to be a very competitive race. I know Connor Zilich has been a dominant car all year, but, I don't think he's going to dominate this race this weekend. I don't think Carson's going to have a shot, to be honest. Hate to burst your bubble there. I think he's going to be kind of the odd man out as far as the as far as the Drivers' Championship goes. I think Justin Allgaier's got a shot. Obviously won this race last year, won the championship there. So,
he didn't win the race.
Or won the championship, excuse me.
Yeah.
I think he's got a really good opportunity. And Jesse Love, I think he's a good enough race car driver to put himself in a good spot to win this race. Won another short track race, got disqualified am I remembering that correctly, at Rockingham. So I think he'll be pretty good this weekend. But all in all, I do think it's going to be Connor Zilich. He's had the best car. He's been the best race car driver all year. I think he'll qualify well. I think he will race well. So give me Connor Zilich. But I don't think he's going to win the race. I'm picking Eric Almirola to win the race, win the Constructors' Championship, or the Owners' Championship for JGR. I think the 19 will win the race.
Okay. I would love to come on here and say that Carson's going to shock the world and win the championship, finish second or third, or hell, even win the race. But I just don't quite see that happening for the one car. He's been just a little bit behind his teammates of the 88 and the 7 all year, and even the 8 at some points this year. So Carson, I really don't see him having a chance here unless something crazy happens, which it could. Crazy restarts, bad restarts, guys kind of slip up, and Carson takes advantage of it. Could see that, but I don't see it happening. The 7 of Allgaier, he's just been a little bit behind Connor, but this is one of his best tracks. He finally got the monkey off his back last year, winning the championship last year, and though he about cost himself a chance to win the championship after about wrecking half the field on that last couple restarts. Got lucky with a caution late in that race, if I remember correctly, and was able to jump his way up through the field and have track position, was able to hold off the rest of the guys. And then the 88, obviously the favorite, won 10 races this year. He's kind of struggled, though, the past couple of weeks. Not having a whole lot of momentum for the 88 team, and he did not finish that well here in the spring. I don't remember what happened to him in the spring, but he finished 16th here in the spring. So this is not Connor's best track. And with a one-race championship, it comes down to just whatever you do in that race, no matter what you've done the past 33 races or however many races the Xfinity Series has. It's a little bit less than the Cup Series, but he's a favorite, but this track is not the best for him, in my opinion. And then Jesse Love, he almost won this race last year. I think he was pretty good here in the spring, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot to look at where he finished. He finished ninth here in the spring, so nothing crazy, but he almost won this race last year. And RCR has been pretty good at this track in the past, and he's the only one out of RCR. He reminds me a lot of 2022 when Junior Motorsports had 3 of the 4 Championship 4 guys in there with Noah and Justin and Josh Berry, and had Ty Gibbs in 54, and Ty Gibbs wound up winning the championship. So I do agree with you. Well, I don't agree. I do think, I don't know. I think Eric could win this race, and he probably will, but he might not. I don't know. But I'm going to the guy that wins the championship might surprise you. I'm going with Jesse Love. I think he's going to win the championship. It's just, it reminds me of 2022, man. Junior Motorsports dominated the season. Now, sure, Ty Gibbs had a great season as well, winning like 8 or 9 races, but Junior Motorsports dominated the season for the most part with Noah and Josh and Justin as well. I just think 3 Junior Motorsports guys, it's going to be yet again just going to be a little bit short. I think you'll have Justin breathing down Jesse Love's neck, and Connor will be right there with him, and Carson will be a little bit further back. But I think Jesse's going to find a way. He was so good here last year. I think he's going to bring momentum to that, and RCR's putting everything into that 2 car this weekend. They're not going to say, and Austin Hill's pretty good at Phoenix as well. So, Austin's going to help Jesse out this weekend and put the best setup they can in that 2 car. And, Junior Motorsports has got 3 cars to figure out how to determine, setups and try to get the best equipment for all 3 of those guys. It's going to be hard to divvy it out between the 3 of those guys, and I think the 2's going to take advantage of that and win the championship. So give me Jesse Love to win this championship for RCR. I'm not really hoping for it. Also, I want Carson to win, or I won't. If it's not Carson, I hope it's Connor because he deserves it the most. But yeah, I think Jesse Love's going to shock the world and win this championship this weekend.
And then there was one. The Cup race this weekend at Phoenix, going to crown the championship. We've got the 5, we've got the 24, we've got the 11, and we've got the 19.
I probably shouldn't say the 14.
I almost did. I had to think about it. But, yeah, as far as the race goes, we'll preview that real quick. I think it's going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be great. Obviously, it's Phoenix. We say on this podcast, every time we go to Phoenix, I don't think there's been a great race at Phoenix since 1986 when the first time they raced there was. So, going to be a decent enough race, I think, for Phoenix standards, but nothing to write home about. I said earlier that I thought that the Championship 4 will be the top 4 drivers in qualifying, essentially. Maybe have a space or 2 between them. But I think they'll all be pretty good, and I think they'll all run really well, barring some incident on racetrack or on pit road. So, I don't really see a non-playoff driver winning this race. I don't really see a non-playoff driver being super competitive. Obviously, there is going to be. I just can't, pick one that I would say is going to be that guy that would do it. Obviously, Christopher Bell is going to be decent. The Penske guys will have good cars, but I think the Championship 4 is just too good. I think there's 4 drivers that would not surprise me if they won the race, and there's 4 drivers that would not surprise me if they won the championship. So I do think it's going to be one of these guys that win the race, and I do think it's going to be one of those guys that dominates, to be honest. So, we'll see. Wouldn't expect a lot of calamity in this one. Just more of a straight-up race that probably will be determined on pit road with the final pit stop.
Yeah, this race will be a Phoenix race, championship race, like we've seen it more than likely. Every time we've gone to Phoenix for this championship race, you'll have a long-run car will be the determining factor on who wins this race in this championship more than likely. I do disagree with you, though, that I think the Penske guys, even though they're not in the championship 4, I think they'll bring some speed this weekend. They're just so good at this track. Blaney is going to be a problem. Logano is going to be a problem. Ross won this race a couple years ago. I think he'll be pretty good. I can see Chase Elliott being pretty good. Chris Buescher, he's been very solid here at this track. So there's some guys that could sneak in there. And Christopher Bell won this race in the spring, very good here in the past, not in the playoffs. So I can see him, being very, very competitive here this weekend. Just not getting in the way of their teammates, like the 9 and the 20 and stuff like that. But he has just come down to long run speed and not making mistakes on pit road. We've seen the playoff guys in the past do a really good job here, not making mistakes, not speeding on pit road, not the pit crews not making big mistakes here in the past. But you can't do it. And especially do it late in the race, you're going to cost yourself a chance to win the championship. And I'll look at the 11 as the main culprit there if they don't execute on pit road or whatever, which they've had a custom to do this year. You can't have that here at Phoenix because it's just so hard to pass, and track position is so king here that you cannot make mistakes and expect to make your way back up through the field here. But long runs it'll be a long Greek flag run to end this race. It's been like that the past several years here, so I think it'll be the same. And I think long run cars, long run setups will be the key to success here, and get through lap traffic there at the end, and just keeping your nose clean all day. Don't make mistakes, and you'll have a chance. And I think all 4 of these guys do a pretty good job with that, and we'll rack them up and see who has the best position at the end.
Yep. With that being said, I mean,
I've already won.
the pick'em's already over.
I won with Blaney finishing second. It's the worst second place finish I've ever dealt with in my life.
Congratulations. Another steak dinner. 2 in a row for you.
2 in a row. We even now.
We're
2-2.
even. Yep.
Won the first 2. I've won the last 2.
So
I-
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I get to pick first this weekend. And because I get to pick first this weekend and I ain't got nothing to lose, give me old Chris Buescher to win this race, God damn it!
That'd be great.
Woohoo! Go 17!
Not going to happen. Obviously.
I don't give a fuck.
But I love
He's good here. He's finished top 5 here. He finished top 5 here last year, didn't he? 2 years ago.
I love the pick, but not going to happen. So with that being said, let me show you my pick. Hold on. Let me see here.
I've only picked Chris Buescher once this year. It's 22-18, so there's no way you can possibly win. So.
All right, so give me Cody Ware. He'll be in the race this week.
Are you serious?
Give me Cody Ware. Hey, if Chris has a problem.
Why don't you pick fucking Chris or Brad or Priest?
Fuck him. Give me Cody Ware.
Okay.
He might.
Weird.
He could beat Chris.
If they bring the fucking same setup that they did last
Chris
week.
could wreck.
Weck.
Yeah.
He could weck.
But with that being said, who's your champion?
Oh yeah. So obviously, joking aside, I'm picking Chris to win the race, cheering for Chris, cheering for Chase and Blaney. I was going to pick Blaney again if he made the championship 4, but he's not making it again, so fuck it, whatever. He might win the race, but I'm picking Chris this weekend. But my champion said it's between the 11 and 24. And I'm going to go with the 24. Momentum is king in this sport, and he won the race last week in dominating fashion. And he's been in this championship now for 3 straight years. I think it's about time for him to collect it and get his championship. I think the 11's going to be strong. I think it's going to be between those 2 guys. But I just trust William Byron a little bit more. I just trust him more than the 11. So give me William Byron this weekend to win his first championship in 2025. And it's going to hurt because, seeing that 24 car win a championship, I never really got to experience that as me, the Jeff Gordon fan growing up. His last championship was when I was 4 years old, and I hate to tell you, but I do not remember that at all. So it's going to kind of suck seeing that if that does happen for William. But Jeff will be in the celebration, so that's always kind of a silver lining for me if a Hendrick car doesn't win a championship and it's not the 9 car. I see Jeff Gordon happy, makes me happy. So give him the 24 car to win this championship. William Byron get his first one in his 3rd try.
Yeah, it's a terrible pick. You said you like seeing Jeff Gordon happy. I like seeing him pissed off. It's seeing him unhappy makes me happy, but
seeing you unhappy makes me happy.
Good, you're not the only one. But Yeah, it's. I think it's pretty obvious who I'm picking this weekend. I think if you made it this far in this episode, or if you watched this podcast or listened to this podcast for any length of time for the past couple years, you know who I'm rooting for, and who I think is going to win is going to be Denny Hamlin. He has deserved several championships prior to this, and just never got it done. I think this is his year. I picked him to win the championship last year, didn't get it done this year. I didn't pick him, and now he's going to get it done. So give me the 11 to go on and win the championship, his first and probably last. But I just want all of you motherfuckers that are watching right now to shut the fuck up because he is one of the greatest race car drivers of all time and does deserve a championship and would have one if it wasn't for this fucking Mickey Mouse bullshit of a playoff format that we have. So Denny Hamlin deserves it. He's going to go in there and get the job done. But like I said earlier, ABB. Anybody but Byron.
So Larson's going to win it. We didn't pick him. But yeah, it should be an interesting weekend of racing. Got the Truck Series Friday night at Phoenix. The Xfinity Series Saturday night. And then the Cup Series on Sunday at, I think, 3 p.m. on NBC. Xfinity Series will be on, I think, 7 o'clock on the CW, I believe. And then the Truck Series, I think, is like 7:30 Friday night. Let me fact check that real quick. Yep, 7:30 for the trucks on Friday night. 7:30 Saturday night at Phoenix for the Xfinity Series, and 3 p.m. on Sunday on NBC for the big old Cup Series. So, yeah, we'll be back with you next week to review the championship finale, to maybe review a little bit throughout the season, what happened and all that, and much more. And then we'll give you kind of the podcast schedule for the off season, because I don't want you people to forget about us. You take a whole 2.5 months off, you will forget about us. Nobody will be here for 2025, so or 2026, sorry. So we'll figure all that out and let you know how all that's going to go. Probably have the second annual Highline Awards ceremony again. That was fun last year, so we'll get all that baked up and all that stuff, figure all that stuff out. But till then, follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts at the Highline. Hit the notification bell.
Ding, ding.
Follow us on TikTok at the Highline Podcast. Almost at 1,000 followers. Keep that up. Follow us on YouTube at the Highline Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at the Highline Official. And yeah, my Clemson Tigers got Duke this weekend. So go Duke.
We're going to Ole Miss.
Big L. Big L.
7:30 on ESPN.
We're noon on ACC Network. So that's what happens when you're 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be hunting this weekend, so hopefully I get a big buck. I'll update y'all on that next week and everything. But you got anything going on this weekend?
Work.
But yeah, we'll come back with you next week to do all that stuff and a whole bunch of more bullshit. But till next time, shotgun a beer, drink a beer, shotgun a Coca-Cola, shotgun a 9mm bullet.
Yep.
Whatever you want to do. Don't do that. Please don't. But till next time, go Tigers.
Go Cox.
And fuck Toyota.